So in this video, I'm just going to dive into doing a report inside of Google Data Studio. I'm going to do it on property data. At the end of the course, you're going to have a data product that'll be based off of property sales in New York City. I got the data itself from this place called data.world, and you definitely should check out data.world. It's a really interesting site. I'll link for the data, but what we're going to dive into, I'll give you an example just to show you so that you can see where we're going to actually go. We're going to take the data for these sales and we're going to answer 4 distinct questions, and these are questions posed in a scenario like let's say a real estate firm wants to know the answers to these questions, so they give us a database and then we take that data and we make this for them. So we're actually going to base that off of this, and that is, we're going to base it off of that. I'm going to show you the questions here real quick. What we're going to be looking for is which neighborhood has the highest value per sale across this data set, which neighborhood has the highest per square foot value, which neighborhood sold the oldest homes, and which month of the time period had the highest sales. So when does the season spike? So I'm going to show you how to break into each of those, and we're going to get started right now. So I'm going to open up a blank report. I'm going to go through this pretty fast. Check out my course on Google Data Studio if you want to learn the specifics of this, but we'll drive through this. It won't be hopefully too fast. So I'm going to grab this data source, add that in. Then we're going to set a theme and a layout, and that is going to be the basics of how we drive this forward. Okay, cool. So now we brought it in. We have this table. We don't need that. Let's go ahead and set this layout here. Let's put the navigation on the left. We'll give it actual size. Cool. Let's go ahead and get a dark theme. I like dark theme. That works out. Let's add some pages. We're going to want to go ahead and we're going to want to add multiple pages. We add 4 pages for our 4 questions. And we'll say prop data. All right, cool. So we got our name, we got 4 pages, we have a blank theme to start with. Let's get into our first question. So the data is right here, and when you're looking at data, you want to make sure that you have a rich data set so you can start to figure out what sort of questions you want to ask. But our first one is going to be which neighborhood has the highest sales value per sale. So let's dive into that. We'll go ahead, because it's a neighborhood, let's go ahead and put a label on here so that we can have our presentation be nice and clean. So we'll say value of properties per neighborhood. Cool. So we'll take this and I'm going to extend this out. I'm going to center this text. I'm going to make it much bigger. I'm going to move this box. I like this font. I'll maybe make it a tad bigger. And let's go ahead and just start off with a bar chart, because that is definitely a good place to start for this, because we can put all of the neighborhoods at the bottom, and then we'll put the values of the average sale over here. So we'll take borough, and we'll swap that for neighborhood. And we got a couple of different neighborhoods, so let's see what we can do about making these labels work a little bit better. I'm gonna leave that label there for now. I'm gonna maybe move this down to like top 8 so there's a little bit more space. And then for the grid, I think we can take, if we move the names down, or the grid there, that'll give us a little bit more room. So there we go. We'll still do 8 though. Color, I'm gonna go ahead and just throw that. Let's do just a nice like lavender. That's cool. Let's take the background of this and we'll make it just a straight black. That works as well. Okay, cool. Let's see if there's any other aesthetic settings I want. I'm pretty good on everything. Let's go ahead and always show the header. Put that in there. For the data, let's go ahead and take the sale price as the metric, because we don't want the record count. We don't want to know just how much, but let's go ahead and edit this. So we'll say average sale price, and we'll take the average. And then for each neighborhood, we can see the average sale price in the financial district is 39 million. In the fashion, 31. Going all the way down to Flatiron is 15. And I just decided I don't like this color anymore. I'm going to take this right there. That is pretty bright yellow right there, but I'm okay with it. Let's do that. Okay, cool. So we have it sorted descending. If we were to sort it as the lowest, all the way down in Parkchester, that'd be only 331. Now, obviously there's quantity and everything involved in this too, but now we got that. Great. We're going to go ahead and add in just a table, and I'm going to do a table with a heat map, just because I like the fact that it adds in a little bit additional. And if this doesn't work, we'll just come back and we'll do another one. But let's take the neighborhood. We have the sale price. We're going to take that and we'll say average sale price, and we'll take this and we'll say average across it. Then we have the same set of data, right? I don't like how this heat map is blue, because blue doesn't really say heat to me. Red is more of the color that says that, so I'm going to take that and make that red. Or actually, since we're talking about money, I can make it green, but I'll just leave it red for now. I'm going to move this over to the left hand side so that the full dollar amount is there. I'm going to make compact, kind of voiding what I just said, but I like to add that as well. I don't want these numbers over here, so I'm going to take them off. Let's go ahead and remove the row numbers. Now those are gone. And then we can see a little bit spreading out, maybe needs to be done. Let's take this and we'll give it a background color. We'll make that black. Just to match everything. All right, cool. So that works out good. And now we got our first page. So let's go ahead and now we put that actually on the fourth page. That's my bad. So let's rename this and we'll say, we'll take this header right here and we will rename it to be that header. All right. So value of properties per neighborhood in New York City. Great. So let's go on to our next question. So the next thing we want to answer is, which neighborhood has the highest per square foot value. So we'll go ahead and we will mess with that. So let's take it and we'll do a heat map table, and we'll do another bar chart. So let me go back to the other page here. I'm going to copy and paste this label over. Let's see, value of square footage per neighborhood in New York City. And then let's add the bar chart. So with this one, we're going to have to actually do something a little bit different. Actually, let me put in a table first. So add, let me do table with bars. This will kind of show like a cool visualization for this. So we'll take the dimension and that'll be the neighborhood. We'll remove borough because we don't want those two different dimensions for this purpose anyways. We will take our metric will be something custom that we'll actually make. So what we'll do is we'll actually say average price per square foot. And what we'll do is we'll go in here and we'll start a formula and we'll say average sale price, and then we'll divide that by and we'll say sum, or not average, we want the sum sale price, and then sum square foot. it's actually gross square feet in the schema. And then the type will be a number, and we can apply that first just to see what that looks like. So we still have a record count in there, so let's go ahead and remove that so that we can have that space. And then for the style, let's go ahead, and I'm sure there's a label that we can show with that, and I want that to be there as well. So let's say bar metric. Okay, cool. So now we have that. So we'll take it, and this is per square foot, so perfect. We'll put this one as green because this is a lot of money. 5,000 per square foot is quite a lot. So let's go ahead and always show the header. Okay, somebody wants to do some sorting, and we'll make that nice, that little button nice and distinct there. Let's get rid of the rows. I don't want that. And then let's just go ahead and make this a little bit nicer. Let's say, we'll copy and paste that in there. And let's also just want to kind of do that on my other sheets as well, just to give it a nice presentation. We'll just edit those real quick, and I should have done that probably initially, but having your labels look nice is always better. This one looks kind of like ketchup and mustard over here. No big deal though. Take this value right here, rename this, throw this in there. Cool, so now we got that. We can do something where we take, we got the table, we can do the bar chart again. And actually, let's do a, no, I think that'll be okay. Or I'll take a tree map. We'll try a tree map and see if we can get a tree map to display this. So one thing to talk about charts with is, you know, it's not always straightforward how you should approach things, and it's not always the same charts that are gonna do the same thing for you. So I'm gonna copy that formula real quick so I don't have to type it again. And our metric is gonna be, I'm gonna take that out. I'm gonna add in another one. Edge. There's gonna be a number. I'm gonna apply that. And so that's gonna be showing us the same stuff, Gowanus. And with this one, let's actually, it'd be fun to take the borough and put it on top, because that'll give us, that's where tree maps are really good, right? Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, Bronx. This goes in order of the expense, right? But it shows the borough and the neighborhood, which is kind of cool. So let's see. Let's take our high color value, and we'll make that green, and then we'll make our mid color value like a really light, and then we'll make our bottom one like a blue, so there's like a little bit of a fade there. This is the most money up here. It'll be kind of like a green to blue heat map right here. And we'll kind of push this down a little bit, and I'm gonna actually just give that the full height of that. And so when we hit view, we should be able to drift over and see average price per square foot near the airport is $588, and Gowanus is 5 G's per square foot. All right, cool. So we've answered that question for sure. Let's go ahead and look and see what. So which neighborhood sold the oldest homes? So this one is going to be interesting. Let's see. Let's take the label from the previous one. I should have grabbed that initially. Bring that over. Age of homes sold per neighborhood, and we'll kind of center this and put that label in there as the name. And with this, we're gonna have to do some calculation. So let's go ahead, and what we'll do is we'll start out with a table. And let's go ahead, well actually let's do a tree map first, because that one will probably show this well. So I'm going to take the metric is going to be the year built. And now that we have the year built, we're going to want to look at this and we're going to see how this is responding. So this is getting us the sum of the year built. So it's like adding like 1920, 1910, 1899. It's adding all those numbers together and it's getting this absurd figure. So we want the average. So let's see, average year built, right? And let's view this and let's test this out. So this says average year built is 1627, has a decimal in there, but you know, we can tell off the top that's absolutely not correct, because we look at our data set and I can go right here and I can see that the year built has a lot of zeros in it. So the data set is actually, I don't know why there's these zeros in this data set, but since we have that, we know that's a factor. And to get a true average, this is bringing the average down, because the lowest, the oldest building they actually have listed in here is 1800, but fun fact, they have the year 1030 listed as a 1813 Green Avenue. So some of these things are not as accurate for whatever reason. So let's take everything that's a zero and at least remove that. So we're gonna have to set a filter on this one. So let's take this filter and we'll say filter out year built 0. And so we're going to exclude the year built if it's equal to 0. And when we set that filter, we should have something pretty interesting happen. So if I pop this open, we should have 1970s average year for Staten Island, Manhattan, it's 1968. And all the way down to Queens and the Bronx, 1942. So we're looking at some more realistic times, right? That makes a lot more sense than something being built in 1627. So let's go ahead and look at our style here. Let's take our heat map and we'll do it red to blue. We'll just put the middle color there. And we faded that in. That looks great. Let's add, I like to always put this, I don't like the hover option for the header. Red, white, and blue, that's great. And let's see if there's any other way that we can display this real quick. So I'm gonna take, I'm gonna try a table with a heat map and just throw that on there. And let's see how this will work out. A little bit experimental. I'm gonna remove the row numbers and let's take the year built, but not the sum, the average. So average year built, and I'm gonna see, yep, that's the number. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna put the borough and the neighborhood in there. And let's make that a little bit wider. So we got, see, we can do the sorting. What should we do? Oh, add sort descending or ascending. Oh yeah, year built 0. So let's do that filter again. So we had that in there automatically. And so we've filtered from the oldest on. And this is good. So this is kind of an interesting thing we can do. Let's stretch this out. And when we view this, we'll be able to scroll through and we'll be able to see all of the years that these were built. So this just shows from oldest sold all the way up. This is kind of like a breakdown of this, so we know. Let me take this and I'm going to reverse the way this is sorted real quick. So this will make a little bit more sense. Show the oldest homes first, because that's ultimately what we want to get out of this. Oh, so this tree map is automatically going to like the highest, right? So Oh, I think I know what I'm doing wrong. I just didn't put neighborhood in here. And that also, there we go. We'll do borough and neighborhood, and then that shows the, this is the newest in Bronx Park, and the oldest would be Hopemont, Eden, Bedford, Kingsbridge, Westchester. So here's how you can see this stuff right here, and this ultimately answers our question. It's just the way we were able to sort it was a little bit different. All right, so now that we got that, let's go to our last item, and that's going to be covering this. So which month of this time period had the highest sales? And we're not really going to care about neighborhoods anymore. We're just going to go for the spike in sales per month. So let's take that and do rename. Say sales. All right, so we're going to take this time series chart. We're going to push this out. Let's go ahead and get the drill down. We just are going to want the year month. And we can see clearly we got 2018 through October 19. And we can see the spike is clearly June. We'll do a little bit better on that. Let's go ahead and take the sale price and make that the metric. And now we can see September 2019 actually had the highest volume. And so we'll say total volume of sales, because that's valuable. I would probably want to know if I can do the most volume, but let's make this a little bit thicker, and we'll do the line. We'll show points, and for a trend line we'll do like a polynomial trend line, or whichever one actually just kind of shows the best. We can see it's just kind of lined up. Let's add in some labels. There we go, we got that. So we have total sum right there. And if we did cumulative, you'd see like this is as it increases to finally get to be the 92 billion or whatever. So we will take off cumulative. We don't want that. And actually this trend line isn't really doing too much, except for showing us that we don't have much going on, so we can just leave it like that. And then let's do another trend line, and we'll do this to show the average. And I'm actually just going to copy this, which is really cool, because if you want to create basically the same thing, just a slightly different visualization, then I'll take the average, and we'll see that both of these actually are corresponding pretty much the same. So it looks like the volume was September of this year, but in June there was this little bit of a spike here. So 2019 was a much better year for the sales there. So let's take, I'm just gonna do one thing to color this so that it's distinct. We'll just do that. And then there we go. So now we have our 4 questions that we set out to answer. So we had the neighborhood with the highest sales value per sale, which we're displaying here. And then we have which neighborhood has the highest square footage value. And then we have the age of the homes that are sold in these areas, and then we have the sales per month, and that assesses kind of the peak season. So it kind of will help a company forecast like when they might need to do more sales or something like that, right? So this is how you make a report in Google Data Studio. I hope this was helpful. Definitely check out the links to my courses. I've got them up on Skillshare, Udemy, also just on YouTube for free. Anything is up on YouTube. Just, please leave a like and a comment. Check that out. Please leave feedback on this stuff. I appreciate you being here, and have a good one. Let me know what other courses you want to see, and I will make those, throw them in the comments, and have a great day.